Yogi Clan, good morning. I am on my way to work and we are here for Product Review Thursday, and I'm excited because hopefully this combination will work this time. Hopefully I got the GoPro going, I got the cell phone camera going, I got the lavalier mic going, and hopefully this has clear, crisp audio. And this turns out pretty good. So welcome to Product Review Thursday. What are we going to talk about today? As promised, we are going to deliver. Let's talk about some tires. Tires. Because they're important, right? They're what keep us stuck to the road, and they're what give us many happy miles. And when you got some good tires, you have a lot of happy miles. So let's talk about some of the different brands that I've used on different bikes, and I'll give you my thoughts on them. Again, this is disclaimer, this is thoughts of Yogi, not thoughts of anybody else, and just my reviews on tires. So let's roll the intro and then we'll dig on in. Traffic today. Come on, people, aren't you all supposed to be on spring break? Why are you all on the road right now? Alright, Yogi Clan, before we get too deep into this, talking about different tires, let's cover some disclaimers first. Number one, tire pressure. Make sure your tires are always at pressure. This is especially important times of year like now when it's spring and in the fall. When you have those radical temperature changes where it's freezing at night and 70, 80 degrees during the day, those tires can quickly change their pressure and lose pressure. So you want to make sure you're always checking your tire pressure. Adequate tire pressure will help extend the life of your tire, of the tread. So that is one thing as part of your pre-ride inspection. Now, do you need to check it every single time you ride? No, I wouldn't say you do. A visual inspection to make sure you haven't picked up any nails, tire's not flat. I would advise that you periodically do a visual inspection of your tire on a routine basis, not only for tire pressure, but to make sure you haven't picked up any kind of debris in your tire, nails or anything like that. Thank you for pulling out in front of me. Appreciate that. So you don't want to be going on a ride to work like this, it's 40 minutes away, and have a nail in your tire before you leave and realize, I should have taken my bike, because you get halfway to work and suddenly your back end gets a little squirrely because you got a nail in your tire and you've lost pressure. So tire pressure, huge thing to check. Also, the periodic check on your tread is important to make sure you're not getting bald. I have been known to run my tires pretty low. Yes, I do go down past really the wear bars and probably past where they should go. That's personal choice, personal preference. It's not something that I recommend, but being how many kids that I have and tires costing $150 plus, you do what you got to do sometimes. All right, so number two, when people say, oh yeah, these tires here, oh, I get so much feedback from the road, they're so much different. I call BS. Because to me, a tire's a tire. I'm sure some are more sticky than others, but I mean, my butt can't feel stickiness to the road. My butt can feel when it slides out. Yeah, sure, I can feel that. But one sticky to another going around the turn, can I tell the difference? No, not really. So I call baloney to those who say, oh, this tire is so much different than that one, blah, 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 blah. Man, it's a tire, dude. Come on. Seat of pants doesn't really tell me jack. Beautiful day out today. Beautiful night out last night. It was awesome going for a ride. Okay, so with those two things out of the way, let's dig into our first tire, the Dunlop. The tire that comes stock on the Harley. It's, I believe, the Dunlop 402. My thoughts on the Dunlop 402. It's an okay tire. It's okay. You get on my soft tails, I would average on a rear tire probably about 12,000 out of the rear, 24,000 out of the front. So I would get 2 rear tires to every 1 front tire. Dunlop 4.2, it was okay. For my Softail, which is a 150 size rear tire, it'd be about 145 bucks for that rear tire. It was okay. I don't really have a whole lot of good to say about it. I don't really have a whole lot of bad to say about it. It was a tire. Next tire up is the Metzeler. I ran the Metzelers, both the 880 and the 888, for years on my Softail. That tire I would average, also very similar to the Dunlop, probably about 13,000 miles out of the rear, and about twice as much out of the front tire. Now, am I one of those guys that says, oh, you know, if you have a Metzeler in the rear, you have to have a Metzeler on the front? No. On my Fat Boy, I've had Metzelers on the front and Dunlops out of the rear. So, for instance, the tire that's on my Fat Boy now is actually a Dunlop 402. Why? Because my buddy got it, so somebody apparently bought a Softail with a 150 rear tire from the Harley dealer. Or it might not have been a Harley dealer, it might have been an independent shop he got it from, I'm not for sure. Put about 500 miles on that tire and took it off and put a Metzeler on, so he sold it to my buddy for 100 bucks. Well, about the same time I ran over a nail, I had a Metzeler 888 in the back of my Fat Boy. It probably had probably 3,000-4,000 miles left of life on it. Ran over a nail. I was broke. He told me, he's like, well, I got this used tire, you know, it's only got like 500 miles on it, and it's only about 2 years old, so it's not dry rotted yet. Yeah, I bought it for 100 bucks. If you want it for 100 bucks, you can have it. So I'm like, I'll take it. So I took that tire and I put it on the back of my Fat Boy. So I got a Metzeler currently on the front and the Dunlop on the rear, and drivability and handling doesn't feel really any different to me. Some people will say, oh no, you shouldn't do that. You know, maybe the tire experts, but you know, people like me who have other responsibilities, you do what you got to do. But the Metzelers, back to the Metzelers, I really like, on my Softail, I really like the Metzelers. They feel good, they ride good. My front wheel, when I hit grooves in the highway, doesn't really track too bad on the front wheel with the Metzelers. They did a little bit more with the Dunlops. So on my Softail, really, I'm comparing Metzelers to Dunlops is my biggest comparison. And I personally really like the Metzeler, both the 880 and the 888. I can't really tell the difference between the two. So I go to Rocky Mountain ATV is where I buy my tires from. And if you bring your bike over to my house and you want a tire change, I recommend Rocky Mountain ATV also. So plug for you, Rocky Mountain. You guys have done an awesome job. You buy from them, you spend more than $100, you get free shipping, and it'll be to your house in like 2 days. So, you know, I order it on a Saturday. By Tuesday or Wednesday, I got my tire. So they are great with shipping, and a great company. Also, since I changed my own tires, which is a little sidebar here, I use what's called Dynabeads to balance them. You use for a 150 rear tire, even for a 180 rear tire like on this Ultra here, I'll use 2 ounces of Dynabeads. They cost like $7.99 for 2 ounces. I would suggest when you buy them, you buy 3 ounces, because they sell 3 ounces for $1 more, $8.99 for 3 ounces. So you can have 3 ounces of Dynabeads and use 2, save 1 ounce, get yourself like a kitchen scale, use 2 ounces and save the other ounce to put with your next tire change. So after you've changed 2 tires, now you got 2 ounces of Dynabeads to do your 3rd tire change, and you don't have to pay the money for the balance beads. Now that is a whole nother topic for a whole nother video, balance beads, and that would be really awesome to do for a product review Thursday, because I know there is a lot of back and forth on balance beads, whether they're good or whether they're crap. All I will say right now, until we do a product review, is I've used them for 5 years. I've never had a problem. Never had a problem. They work for me. That's how I do it. There are some motorcycle shops in this area here that is the only way that they balance their tires, is with balance beads. So if motorcycle shops are happy, hey man, that works for me. They work for me. I like them. So maybe we'll do a product review on balance beads, how they work and how you use them. That would be an awesome video. And when I do my next tire change and I use the balance beads, I'll record that so you can see how I change my tires, the tricks I use to change my tires. So stay tuned for that. I have a feeling I'll be having a tire change come at some point in time soon, and we'll go ahead and record a video on my redneck way of changing tires. Hey, it works. So, Metzeler versus Dunlop. For a softail, I prefer Metzeler. Metzeler, a 150 size tire, will cost you about $145, $150, about the same price as the Dunlop. I don't know, I just like them better. I feel more comfortable on them. I trust them more. I think it's a little bit softer rubber, so most tires you see in the center of the tire will have the harder, more dense compound. On the side of the tire will be a softer, more sticky compound. That way when you're leaning around in turns, you got more stick on the road. On your chicken strips, you got more stick. But in the center, it's going to be a little bit harder because you're less prone to sliding in the center of your tire, so they put a harder compound. That way your tires last longer. Which brings me to the Michelin tires. Third tire I'd like to review. I have not used a Michelin on my softail, but Michelins are what I run on this Ultra Classic. Why? So this Ultra Classic is a 180 rear tire. Hop it on the highway. Oh, there's somebody on a scooter. Let's catch him. Michelin's. So specifically the Michelin Commander tire is what I run on this Ultra Classic. And the tire that I'm going to compare it to, which is probably really not a very good comparison, but is a Shinko. So when I got this bike, it had a Dunlop on it when I got it. I'm not sure if it was a stock Dunlop. I have a feeling it probably was, and I had to change the tire right at about 18,000 miles, because I got this bike with 17.5 on it and used, and when I got the bike, the tire was pretty well spent. So I put about another 500 to 1,000 miles on it and said, yeah, it's time for a tire change. So I changed that tire. At that point in time, I was broke. I admit it. I had no money. The Shinko tire was like $115 for a 180 size tire, and off Rocky Mountain ATV. So I put a Shinko on here. I was like, you know, let me just see how these will last. Shinko tires are, a lot of them are used in the sport bike community for track days. They're cheap and they're really soft rubber, so they are really sticky. So if you want a really good sticky tire, and Shinkos work. But because they are so soft and so sticky, they don't last very long. I got 8,400 miles on this Ultra Classic out of that tire. So, you know, $115, 8,400 miles. So keep those numbers in mind. I then, when it was time for the next tire, after that 8,400 miles, I was like, you know what? It was tax return time. I'm going to spend the money. It was $187. I got the Michelin Commander tire. Put the Michelin Commander on here, and that lasted me up to 19,500 miles. I probably could have gone another 1,000 more on it. I probably could have stretched it out a little bit further, but we're getting ready for a long trip. Yeah, it was tax return time, and every year, right after tax return time, when May comes, I go up to Rolling Thunder in DC. And I didn't want to go up to Rolling Thunder with a tire that I thought, I might only get another 1,000 miles out of this, because A, it's 500 miles to DC and back. So if I do any riding while I'm up there, I'm going to pass that 1,000 mile mark in the weekend. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and replace this tire. So I put another Michelin Commander on there. Let's catch this guy. Put another Michelin Commander on there, and if I look down at my thing, I got 14,571 miles right now on this tire. What up, bro? So 14,571 miles on this tire. I'll take a picture of it when I get to work, and I'll post that picture up. But I'm thinking this tire is going to go at least 20,000 miles. For $187 is what I paid for it off of Rocky Mountain ATV. I think this tire will easily push 20,000 miles, which to me is awesome. So $187, 20,000 miles, or $115 for the Shinko, 8,400 miles. So if you can put the 8,400 miles times 2, that's 16,800 miles, $220. So it's close, you know, 2-to-1 ratio there is pretty close, but you're gonna have to change your tire twice as often. Dude, that's a pain, man. That's a pain in the butt. So why have to worry about that? You know, put the Michelin, spend a little more, put the Michelins on there, and let them roll. So now what I'm thinking is, I really like this Michelin tire. It's gonna put 20,000 miles on this 1,000-pound machine. That's pretty awesome. So now I'm thinking, once this Dunlop wears out on the Fat Boy, I want to see if I can get one of these Michelins for the Fat Boy and see how long they go on the Fat Boy. Now the thing about the Michelins, from what I understand, is a much harder rubber compound in the center of the tire. Again, softer rubber compound on the sides of the tire in your chicken strip areas. So you're going to stick in the turns when it's wet out, when it's dry out, but you're going to have the stability that you need when you're straight up rolling down the road like this. It's a touring tire. It's meant for long distance touring. So I am really happy with the Michelins. I'm going to stick with that. I'll try them on the Fat Boy, but my Fat Boy, I don't ride my Fat Boy like I ride this. My Fat Boy, I have stripped all the touring crap off it, stripped the saddlebags off, stripped the windshield off, stripped everything off. It's meant to be more of a hot rod, bar hopper, put some cams in it. Let's go around town and tear it up. So for an around town tear it up bike, you know, maybe it's better to stick with a softer tire compound. Maybe something more like the Metzelers, where I do only get 12,000, 13,000 miles out of them. There's kind of some feedback that I have on the tires. The biggest thing that I can say to maintaining tire life, no matter what tire you have, is 1, making sure they're balanced, 2, making sure you have proper inflation. If you do that, you're going to get the most miles that you can get out of a tire, and they will take care of you as you're rolling down the road. So keep them inflated, make sure you're balanced, check for debris in them, and no matter what kind of tire you ride, they're going to take care of you. So I thank you for taking the time and joining me today for this quick little vlog. Had a beautiful night last night. Got to go out and enjoy some miles with Mrs. Yogi. Check out my Instagram page. Got a picture of us last night. We went down. There's this Black Hawk Hardware down in South Charlotte. You got to check that store out. If you like old school hardware stores, that place is the bomb. You can buy anything there, from bird feeders to Yeti cups to soap on a rope to clam steamers to, if you're somebody who likes making jelly jam and jarring it, you can buy the mason jars there. You can buy doorknobs there. You can buy cabinet knobs there. You can buy socket sets there. The prices are a little bit more expensive than when you can find other places, but the store is cool. They sell those eggs, those grill things are called the eggs, which are highly expensive, but they look really neat. They look like a lot of fun. So if you're like a foodie type person, you like grilling, yeah, they sell the egg there. You can get one. The big one that we saw was like $4,000. One that I would have to feed my family is like $1,000 for a grill. Yeah, crazy, but they're pretty cool. So they have some really neat stuff there. I think it's called Black Rock Hardware. So go check it out down in South Park area of Charlotte, down off of Park Road, kind of by Park and Woodlawn, that general vicinity. So go check them out. They have some really cool stuff. And don't bother telling them who that Yogi sent you, because they probably have no idea who the heck Yogi is. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of this. Definitely for touring bikes. My opinion, Michelins are the way to go. For soft tails, I really like Metzelers, but I'm going to try a Michelin tire if I can find one that'll fit that bike and see how it performs on there, see how many miles. But let's face it, man, every 13,000 miles, I do that at least in a year. That's a new tire every year. And that gets annoying on top of all the oil changes and everything else you got to do to keep these machines running. But it's, I guess, part of the hobby, you know, part of the experience. So thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to hit and mash that subscribe button. Make sure you mash the notification bell so you get alerted when new videos are coming out. And I hope you have a wonderful day, Yogi Clan. I will talk to you soon. Take care. God bless. Peace.